Hi guys, Chris from Crushing the Sounds here. Just got a quick VT intro for this video, off the cuff, not really thought about it, hence why I'm not using the fancy microphone. But anyway, for those of you who are wondering why there has been a sudden influx of interviews on this channel, first of all, they're really fun to do. Secondly, I had the idea of interviewing a couple bands that would be playing the Bristol Metal to the Masses tournament this year. Obviously, it then got cancelled, but didn't matter. I wanted to meet a bunch of bands and plug their stuff, plug Bloodstock. Bloodstock's the bread and butter of our channel, as you guys know. So I interviewed a bunch of them after I sent emails out to almost every single band on the lineup, and I got completely overwhelmed with how many of them responded. So many were dead up for it. Not all of them could happen. Some of them we couldn't find times to sort it out, but almost every band I emailed got back to me very quickly to be like, yes, we would love to do something like that. So to all the bands that spoke to me, whether we managed to arrange an interview or not, thank you so much. That meant so much to me. It felt like I was involved in the Bristol metal scene, which is a scene I hold very close to my heart. So thank you guys so much. But the point of this video was definitely the highlight of the whole thing, really. Dies Holocaustum, being the brilliant guys that they are, had an idea with Black City Records to film a closed-door gig in their store, and they, as I'd happened to email them with interest in interviewing them, they said, why don't you come down, take a few snapshots of our show, and then you can interview us in person afterwards. It'll be better than a Zoom interview, which is just all people are doing these days. And I thought, hell yes, let's do it. I thought, oh god, I've never filmed a show before. I can't use my crappy phone to record video for that. I need to get a new camera. I need to get a new Tascam audio device to really get the meat and potatoes out of this thing. So I bought a new camera, the camera I'm using right now. I also brought a new Tascam especially for it. And the day was in two parts, basically. The concert itself did not come out very well on my end. Chalk it up to the fact that I was using brand new equipment and the fact that I really had no idea what I was doing. No business recording a concert like that. Yeah, it turned out extremely poorly on my end. So I figured I wouldn't expose you guys to that kind of disaster unless you want to see video quality that looks like this and audio quality that sounds like this. So yeah, I figured we would skip past that. I've been talking to the band about it afterwards, and they have been such good guys regarding the technical difficulties that were present at the time. Fortunately, the interview turned out great. So please enjoy the interview with Dies Holocaustum. Thanks so much again to all the bands that I spoke to and all the plugs they've given this channel. My follow base and subscribers have just been going up quite steadily and steadily faster than they ever have before. So thank you everyone so much, and please enjoy this brilliant conversation I had with Dies Holocaustum. So, welcome back to Crushing Sounds. My name is Chris, and look at this, I got my very first face-to-face interview. I'm joined by the legendary Bristol metal band, Dies Holocaustum. Thank you guys so much for meeting with me today. How the hell are you doing?
Pretty good, yeah. Well, sweaty.
I just need to get the obvious question out of the way first. People who might not know, what does Dies Holocaustum actually mean?
It's the day of the apocalyptic event by fire, essentially.
Fantastic. Am I pronouncing it right? Dies Holocaustum?
Yeah, it's Dies.
Dies. Sure. I'll try and
not the worst pronunciation we've had.
So, obviously, a lot of us have had a very productive morning. Did you want to talk us through what we just got up to for the last hour and a half?
Yeah, essentially, so Dave Savage from Black City Records, he had a scheme basically where he wanted us to play in the shop, like with closed doors and everything, and it sounded so bizarre and different that we just, we couldn't say no to that. So we managed to just cram everything in there, close the shop for a few hours, and yeah, play through the set that we would have been playing for Melts of the Masses.
Awesome stuff. So not in aiding anything, just a wicked idea, just to play a show, really. Yeah, I was saying,
cool.
I haven't been to a show in ages, and it was surreal having my first show in over a year, a private Dies Holocaustum show, so can't ask for more than that. It was so good, guys, I loved it. Thanks again for inviting me down to do this for you guys. It's been really cool. Of course, we're also just around the corner from Bristol's heavy metal pub. I believe someone quoted Metal Quarter around here.
Yeah.
Very much feels that way.
I think we're trying to make it happen.
Yeah, for sure. The Griffin was the first venue my band ever played. I'm sure you guys have played there loads of times.
Yeah, first venue we played as well. Yeah.
Brilliant stuff. Great shows there, I'm sure. They always treat everyone right. So how awesome is it that we got basically a place for metalheads to hang around in the southwest, really, and it's been a long time coming. So as I understand, you have some of your wares in Black City Records.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we've got a few t-shirts. I think our last original press of Scottish Promised Land is in there.
Not anymore.
Is it? Oh, it's gone, right.
Sold out.
Sold out, there you go.
It should be sold out until we press it anymore.
You guys are in demand.
Patches.
Yeah, patches. I saw, saw the patches. I might have to grab one of those before they go. So I have been interviewing a number of the Bristol bands, as you know, regarding Melt to the Masses, which was supposed to happen soon, but obviously we've had to go without this year. Still, you guys are in the running, as it were, which is still awesome. Apparently you had to do a written submission or something. What exactly did that involve?
Yeah, we did. It's kind of disappointing to not, get to play the show, because there's so much kind of buzz and excitement that always happens, especially on the grand finals. It's so, it's really an event that, I always say to people, you need to come down to this one, because it's just every band is just giving it absolutely everything.
Yeah, every year it's the best event.
Yeah, and so it's
Bristol gig of the year, definitely.
Obviously, circumstances being what they are, it can't happen this year, so they're just putting it down to a judge's vote. So what happens essentially. Yeah, they're going to judge it on the performance of each band recently, kind of where they stand in the local or national scene.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, awesome. Anyway, wish you guys luck with that. Hopefully you guys do well. So I first saw you guys during the 2019 heats of Metal to the Masses. I followed that year very closely. I was living in Bristol at the time, basically. I remember you guys specifically very, very clearly. I came because I knew some of the guys in Mist, but I came away you guys being my number one band, essentially. No surprise to me that you guys made it to the final that year. No disrespect to Voluntas, who won. They are also amazing, but I was sure you guys were a shoo-in, honestly. Do you remember that final? Do you remember how it went? How did it feel?
Yeah, it was, because I think we were really surprised by because it was our first kind of time as a band doing Melts of the Masses as well. We kind of went in with no expectations, really. I know it was Voluntas is how many times did you do it?
It was our third time.
Third time.
Yeah.
So we just we got through the heats, brilliant. Then we got through the semis, even better. And then when we got to the finals, we were this is getting real now.
Yeah.
So we kind of went into it thinking there's every chance we could get this. So might as well just go for it with all we got.
Fantastic. What's the Metal to the Masses experience like? How does it feel to be part of that exclusive club that are close to playing the best festival in the country, basically?
It's a weird one. At the end of, say, when you go through one of the heats, playing every gig is one of the most fun things you could ever do. But playing a gig and then finding out that you get to play another one is it just really adds an extra sort of gratification to the night. I don't know. I've never been that competitive, but then when all of a sudden I am when I win. So
absolutely,
yeah.
Opportunity to play Bloodstock. I'm sure it gets very fiercely competitive just to get that opportunity. So I'm just curious because, as you know, I've spoken to a couple of the other competitors already. Are there any on the lineup that you're eyeing up as sort of your big competition? No pressure, but a few bands have cited you guys.
There's definitely one. It's Ascaris.
Ascaris, great friends of mine personally.
Yeah.
I think they were actually the first band I ever saw in Bristol. Since I started living here anyway, the day I put my money down for my flat, I just happened to go to the Griffin and they were playing, and I just made friends with them and everything like that. So I've been following them for a long time now. And as far as I know, they've competed quite a lot in the Gloucester ones as well, and they never quite made it through there. So they came to Bristol thinking that and they've got quite a good following in Bristol, so that's a very good tactical decision on their
They
part.
actually supported us at our launch show.
Yes, they did, yeah.
Which is, that's how close they are to us.
Sure,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's, obviously they're another death metal band as well. So
Awesome, yeah.
yeah.
Friendly rivalries, basically.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever been to Bloodstock, even as just audience members?
Yeah, I went
Yeah.
2009, 10, 11 and 19. I had a bit of a gap between them, but so it's 4 times for me now.
Yeah, wicked. I've been like 3 or 4 times, I think. Supposed to try go every year, basically.
Yeah.
Not some about a visit to Bloodstock, as it were. What would it mean to you guys if you got picked to play the festival?
I mean, you've already played it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've already played it.
You know.
For me, like because I've been doing Metals of the Masses for years and years now, in like various different kind of bands and everything, and it's never quite made it. So it's just like it would be so good to like just finally cross that one off and like just get it and do it and earn it. You know?
Sure. Awesome stuff. So, move on to your music. So, very quickly, when people put on your music, it's clear you're inspired by perhaps some of the older school thrash metal bands, some death metal in there as well. Do you have a way of describing your sound to a brand new listener?
John, you think maybe
Yeah.
you're probably the best person to describe it.
Well, it's all old school death thrash. So my main inspiration will be the bands somewhere within 1988, 1992. There's been great releases ever since, but that period of time seems to have condensated some of the best. And particularly from the Bay Area, some thrash bands started to develop a lot more technical sound with some, I wouldn't say experimental, but definitely a bit more ambitious in harmony and arrangement. The likes of Forbidden, bands that put a lot of almost scoring techniques into it, making it sound nice and spooky. And when this period finishes, I've got the sense that it could have given a lot more out of it. Like you have the memories of Gorguts, Erosion of Sanity, or Consuming Impulse by Pestilence, things like that. It's kind of everything ended, and then the whole era of the groove metal and new metal came. So there's a bit of a void in there in which this old school death metal could have been a lot more technical and full of leads and melodies, and this is what we experiment with.
A lot of the technicality in music disappeared, didn't it, around that time? It was the same time as grunge as well, so people all of a sudden
exactly.
playing fast guitar wasn't cool anymore.
It was
so,
a bit of an abrupt end to an era, and then nothing wrong with the groove metal or Pantera or Machine Head, but then all this new wave kind of came. I suppose it became more marketable, if you will, and all of a sudden these bands again, Gorguts, Malevolent Creation, Autopsy, Sedus, they were still there, but it was kind of the beginning of the decline. So yeah, I was always feeling curious about how much this type of death thrash could have given with a lot more arrangements and technicality. Not that I'm very technical, but if you see what I mean. There's a lot of leads and arrangements going on in Dies Holocaustum.
So just prior to the first lockdown, you guys, I don't know how prior it was before it anyway, you guys did an awesome launch party to celebrate your debut album, Scorched Promised Land. I could only wish I was there. How was that night? It sounded amazing.
It was.
Thank you.
It went off. It was so good. Like, best gig I've ever played. It's so weird, kind of organising something like that yourself as a band. Like, we didn't go through any promoters or anything. It was completely like kind of on our own backs, and like we chose to support. Yeah, books of the venue and everything, and yeah, just to kind of turn up and it will just like come together finally, and like you start to see people who you're obviously going to see your mates and stuff there, but then you see people who you don't know. It's like that's fans. Like, it's a kind
It's a
of
bit of a risk, really.
Yeah,
to
yeah.
break an exchange. Just
Oh, of course.
Just because a band that hadn't done anything before.
Yeah.
I think the main reason we did it is because I did it with Body Harvest the year before.
Yeah.
And it went really well, but obviously because Body Harvest was more established, I was kind of
more
like,
of a sure thing.
I was kind of just like, fuck it, let's just do the exchange with this band as well.
Yeah.
'Cause it went well.
Originally, the plan was
Like-
always to do the Griffin. And
Yeah,
because that would have been a
it's
safe one, and we love the Griffin. And then we were just like, you know what? The exchange is like 4 times capacity. Should we just go for it?
Look,
you know?
Yeah.
The thing is, like, even if we'd lost out, it would have been like such a minimal amount, and like it still would have been, it still would have been worth it. And
Yeah, definitely.
I don't
yeah.
even think we did lose out in the end.
No, in the end,
So
it was
we paid quite a bit.
Broke even at least, yeah.
Yeah.
we were able to pay all the bands that have played with us and
Yeah.
that as well.
Nice big
yeah.
proper stage, really good sound tech.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Exchange is a great venue. Obviously, that's where they do Metal to the Masses, really. So, So what's the recording process like for that album? Because I've talked to a bunch of bands. Most of them have got maybe an EP or two. You're one of the first I know to have a proper full length. What goes into making that?
It was very improvisational in a way.
Like, a push from me really, because we had all these songs, and I'd done an album before at the same place, so I was kind of just like, well, we could do an EP like all the other bands, but we've got 13 songs.
Sure.
Like, let's just record them, and like it was very DIY. I think in the end we're all a bit dissatisfied with how it came out, but like I think at the time we did what we could with the money we had, and I'm still proud of the album.
Time
Like,
as well.
now
Just
and
with the whole thing, how quick was it?
We did the drums in like a day.
Yeah,
so
it was all on kind
like,
of.
When you consider all those, like how time restraint it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, we booked out the place for kind of like the cheapest that we possibly could, and it was we just had it to ourselves.
Yeah.
And it was like we just kind of.
It was
did
an
as we went
experiment,
along.
and I think we'll definitely do it differently next time.
Yeah.
Just we want to push higher, but for a starting point for the band, I think it definitely could have gone a lot worse.
Sure.
I think it's better than doing it that way than going for like a 5-track EP that we then spent a lot of money on.
Exactly.
You know? I think that was a
we had all the songs, so why not record
with
them?
the genre as well. It fits, you know. It's
I kind of think back to
can't be crystal
like
clear.
you kind of think back to like when the bands that inspired this band were coming out anyway. Bands weren't doing EPs. They just come out with a full album straight away.
Of course.
Just straight off the bat. They might have done a few demo tapes, but like that's just not a thing now.
Yeah.
Like, so it's just like it's
Like,
just
we do
an
have
album.
demos that we could kind of retroactively release on a tape
We're
or something like
definitely
that.
not
Is it good? We could. We did go through that. We just didn't release it.
These
Put on
demos
SoundCloud.
are for our
Yeah, awesome. So I've heard the album a bunch of times. It's really, really good stuff. Is there a running theme or ethos or sort of ideas that run through the whole album? Because as you know, most thrash or death metal bands are being transgressive or in your face about some sort of subject matter that's pretty extreme. Anything?
John always puts the best spooky stories. Essentially, is what it comes down to. Spookiness. and
Well, I guess
just,
the lyrics is that about the lyrics is what you.
Well, yeah, the lyrics, the themes of the
concept
album.
behind the
Yeah.
album. I think the way it went on the themes and topics, it kind of portrays very well what even the name of the band is, Dies Holocaustum, as in a ritual sacrifice. Kind of, we take on a lot of pagan folklore and legends and kind of horror related with folklore and traditions and history and mythology. So there's a lot of that on the lyrics, from, I don't know, history about the living dead, starting with Death Ray Shrouded to They Never Left These Boundaries is kind of the haunted house kind of story, a little bit hackneyed but with a bit of a twist. Let Them Hang and Rot is based on a local ghost story from Bristol actually.
Oh, wicked.
Terms of the Coven is based on another, I think originally it's probably Celt, but Celtic influenced legend from the north of Spain about some kind of procession that raptures your soul when you sleep and you die out of sleep deprivation. So yeah, there's a lot of legend and kind of mythology into it all the way through. And obviously the most obvious would be Kerberos, the Dog from Hell and Glories of Hell.
It's a lot of what inspired a lot of old school horror films as well. Like,
Yeah,
I think it's kind of because a lot of those are inspired by this folklore and stuff.
Yeah.
It's,
So when you look
it's
at like the really old
cult
kind
and
of
aesthetic to go with.
It's all about horror,
Italian
fantasy
horror and stuff like that,
and horror
Awesome
with
stuff.
a lot of historiographic bits into it. So
Yeah, awesome. So you guys obviously have done a bunch of different shows, played with a bunch of awesome local bands. Is there any band in particular that you really fondly remember playing alongside?
I'm trying to think.
Anakin was one band that
I think the
was
release
very
show
happy,
was the best in good stuff and good vibe and camaraderie because the guys were just lovely. Everybody from Anarchy, Mascaris, Blaspheme. It was a really fun show to play, and you could feel that.
We made good friends with Secrium.
Secrium
from
in
London when we played Banbury. They were great guys. Like, 'cause
Oxford,
I was having trouble with my bass pickups, and immediately the guy just had a 5-string bass. And he was just like, there you go, carry on. Like just sort of took it. I was on stage, couldn't see anything. It was just like,
We
cheers,
played
dude.
with the guys from Pemphigoid
Yeah, Pemphigoid,
here
yeah.
in a really kind of old school
Our first show, I
death
think
metal
it was.
gig. It might have been the first. So yeah, that was fun. Really nice guys.
So, obviously, I'm sure you guys have got a slew of hopefully upcoming shows that you can do. I know we're all praying to get back out there into metal shows again. How desperate are you guys to get back up on the stage?
Sooner the better.
Yeah, absolutely.
We had, like, for 2020, before everything kind of went to shit, we had so many good gigs that I was, like, really, really looking forward to as well. We were supporting Creeping Flesh from Sweden, like, on tour of their UK tour. God, it was
Literally the whole year was
It's just shit.
Yeah.
Like
we were at the point where we couldn't take any more.
Yeah.
We don't have any holiday days left at work.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome stuff. Yes, any immediate plans for shows that are booked up, or you still giving it space before we can open up again?
Because there's...
Because Southwest having first.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that's now our first gig. Obviously, it was going to be not massive. Next I think it's August the 8th, halfway through August.
Something like that.
Bridgewater.
Yeah, I mean, depending on how Masses goes, it might be Bloodstock, but you never know.
Yeah, who knows?
God, there
Is it
was...
Repulsive Vision in Plymouth somewhere in the
Yes,
summer as well?
we're supporting
I think
Repulsive
that's-
Vision. That's the thing, I've got no... because everything's sort of coming up so quickly.
And then the next ones are pretty much
We have a
all moved
Manchester
to
show.
November with
it's the New Cross, isn't it? Beyond the
Got
Grave.
Beyond the Grave.
obviously
Is that-
Eradication,
Eradication Festival in Cardiff, yeah.
Beyond the Grave. That's all in November. I
Yeah.
think.
Cardiff, London, Plymouth, Bridgewater,
And
Yeah.
of Manchester.
And Manchester.
Yes.
Manchester.
We are headlining an all-day festival, Thrashchester, in November, which I'm so grateful to James and Jane Bennett for booking us for, because that was honestly a bit of a surprise that they just kind of said, hey, do you want to headline this? It's an all-dayer. Yeah, in a place I've never been before, so that's definitely my kind of, that's the one that I'm looking forward to slightly more than all of them.
Sure. That's an awesome name for a festival as well.
Yeah.
Thrashchester.
It's quite handy because we sort of we kind of straddle the sort of death and thrash crowd quite well. So we could play like I think we could play like a death metal crowd just as well as a thrash crowd, really, because we've got elements of both, like in quite equal measure. So that'd be really good for like a proper thrash crowd. Some good friends there as well.
So before we wrap up, any plans for upcoming new music?
We have a new album is done, like written.
Awesome.
We're just fine tuning now, and I think
We're sort of getting back on our feet a little bit.
We're planning on doing drums pretty soon, so we're going to track that and I guess take it from there. Really,
Yeah.
it's what, like 12 songs, something like that.
Yeah.
12 new songs.
I'm only 13, from which one might be knocked off
Yeah.
as a kind of B-side or something. We're still deciding on.
There's lots of new material.
Yeah.
and,
Awesome.
And it, not to disrespect Scorch Promised Land, but it shits all over it.
Technicality and just the structures and the songs, like it's faster, it's heavier, it's more brutal, more technical, more groovy, and some nice melodies in there. So very excited to start playing.
Yeah, can't wait to hear it. So I like to close these interviews the same sort of way, just casual, quick-fire questions about random nonsense, really. Some are, you can answer as long or as short as you want for these answers. You can debate amongst yourselves. I definitely did not steal this idea from Empiricon's 25 question series on YouTube. This is Crushing Sounds questions. So, death metal versus thrash metal.
Yeah. Oh god, all the time.
I tend to actually listen to more thrash,
I say
especially German
death.
thrash.
It contains all the good things of the thrash, plus some extra.
Yeah.
It's thrash metal but better.
Yeah.
That's how I see it.
Yeah.
I refuse to choose.
Refuse to choose.
I'm a massive fan of like the Teutonic stuff as well, like Creator Sodom and everything like that. So.
So I
Sure.
like that, but imagine
Yeah.
create with blast beats.
It's not like very even, it's just like finding yourself listening to
That's
it
the
more.
thing.
Yeah.
Like thrash led me to death, so
Yeah.
I just skip
It
thrash
didn't
and
work.
to death
Yeah.
now.
You're all
I kind of
fans.
like the thrash now, but,
Can't believe it, it's all quoted.
So much like in music, some death, some thrash. So, Slayer versus Metallica.
Slayer.
Slayer.
Metallica, actually.
So here we go.
More
It's all
consistent.
yeah.
I
Every
think, you know, like Slayer, they had that, like, 3 albums, Ride the Lightning, Master of Puppets, and Justice for All. It's better than anything Slayer put out, in my opinion. I also
I'll
like
I'll-
the proggy element.
Thermonuclear
I
take,
love
but like,
I also don't like Slayer, so that's a very good
Oh, there you go. Yeah, every band I've interviewed so far immediately just goes Metallica. That's the first band. They're the first band
I
who've
think
gone
Slayer
straight in with
suits our
Slayer.
kind of aesthetic
Definitely,
more in
yeah.
so many ways,
You'd say
like,
I say I don't like Slayer, I like Haunting the Chapel a lot.
You won't mistake a Dies Holocaustum song from Metallica.
Yeah,
You probably wouldn't
yeah.
Slayer either.
We definitely have Slayer riffs, yeah.
Sure, yeah. Guitar solos versus drum solos.
Guitar solos.
Probably guitar.
Drum solos are just fucking
I say
worthless.
guitar.
Like in the middle of a set.
It should have been
Every
left
now
in
and
the
then
80s.
they're awesome, but
They're
if you
kinda
had one
cool.
in every song that you do most guitar solos, then
Yeah.
no.
No, they're cool for me because I'm a drummer, but like a guitar solo like actually has place in a song, whereas
Yeah.
a drum solo, like I think there's like maybe 2 songs where
It's
it
like
Especially
actually
when the
works.
guitarists have to change guitars.
Yeah.
That's the best place to put them.
If you're some like old band from the 80s and like all of your members are getting on a bit, except with drummer who is like a fairly young guy, you all want a break. So just, like, just do like a 20-minute drum thing, like we're headlining this festival, we need to go off and have a cup of tea, like yeah, just keep everyone entertained for a bit, we'll come back and
Awesome.
that's what drum solo is like.
Yeah, for sure. Horror movie or action movie?
Horror.
Yeah,
Oh, I
no,
do love a bit of action.
no surprise.
Especially Arnie. Arnie's my
I
favourite.
do like Commando. That is
Constant action.
Oh no, you got me thinking now.
What about the mix when you get like sort of like Alien? There's like horror
yeah.
slash
I
horror,
guess
you know, like
Predator.
that's
would
probably
be-
mine.
Yeah.
Death Thrash.
Yeah. Like it's action.
I have to
with
go
stuff.
horror, man.
Yeah.
I just, even though they're shit, I just love the slashers like
Sure.
Nightmare on Elm Street and Halloween. Like,
Yeah.
The classics. they're just-
Actually, you know what? I'm gonna go for action on this one, just because of Arnie. Like,
Just because of Arnie, yeah. One favourite movie?
oh, shit.
I've got a top 5 definitely,
Yeah.
including The Big Lebowski, Apocalypse Now. I'd probably a few others, but
Yeah.
Fiction.
Good
shout, good shout.
Or
It's gonna
Snatch,
be a
maybe.
Tarantino.
Snatch slash.
there's some movies that I can just watch over and over and over again.
I say Nightmare in Elm Street is probably one of them, of the top 5. Stalingrad. In the Name of the Father has nothing to do with any of them both, but it's a good film. Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
With Nell and I is one of mine.
The Exorcist.
That's a good movie.
Too many to choose from, basically. Yeah, that one normally stumps people when I give them that one. So, mosh pit versus standing at the front.
Always.
You don't come out of a gig with a broken back.
You go in with a
Another
broken
problem
back.
with masses, really. Generally, say you've got friends competing in other bands. Generally, you want to be in the pit, but you want to try not to injure yourself.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's the ultimate form of kind of appreciation for a band as well.
Definitely.
Like, you know, just when you see people watching, it's just the best feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah, wicked. Download or vinyl?
I say CD.
I don't
CD.
play vinyls in my car, so I'd have to go
I'm
download.
going to
But
be
I,
really honest. I'm going to probably
Just
say
download. I just
stream,
use Spotify.
like,
It's like-
yeah.
It's convenient.
But I do
It's
love
too
love
easy.
I think between the two, I say vinyl because the sound is infinitely better.
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
not gonna lie, I don't really do vinyls because I don't have
Yeah.
the logistics
Yeah.
at home.
I've never collected CDs, but like I enjoy collecting vinyls. Oh, I've not got a massive collection or anything, just because of the kind of ritual of it. I like kind of the big artwork. You kind of open it up, you get all the kind of liner notes.
One
and
thing,
everything.
having the art printed.
It's
that
so
much
nice to
bigger
just have
Yeah.
a thing
does
like
look
that.
awesome.
Yeah, it's a
Like,
physical embodiment of the
I
music.
have
It's really
I
nice.
think I have 2 vinyls. I got 1,000 CDs.
Yeah.
They don't have to be CDs really, but I download them onto my computer.
Sure.
I have to say download, really.
Yeah.
Although if you're
I'm a
lucky,
millennial, what can I say?
There's positives and negatives.
if you're lucky, you get the vinyl with the download code. If you just
Yeah.
get the best of both worlds. Recording versus performing.
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 Yeah.
Recording sucks.
There's bits I like about recording, like, but nothing beats performance.
It's
The
like
sermon's
super
light
nerd
edge.
time.
I think the only good thing about recording is having the result finished and actually seeing the outcome being successful. Everything before that is a torture.
So having finished
I
recording,
It's not really it's not really enjoyable. Once you get it done and it sounds great and you're happy, I can say this is enjoyable.
Yeah.
But the
I can't
process
say I've ever experienced
is a pain in the
that, to be honest.
backside.
Although I've played like kind of bad shows, not really with this band, but I've never regretted playing a show either. Like, because there's just, you know, no matter
Even
how
though-
things go, you know, things go wrong or
Definitely
whatever.
there's two
regretted
people
getting
in the crowd.
quite drunk before playing.
Yeah.
And then being like, that was...
Yeah, when it's self-inflicted,
That was
but-
just fucking...
It's
work.
always memories. It's always an adventure. It's always, you know, like it's always something that you remember that you take with you. So yeah, performance is just like
Yeah, I just feel like I play better live. Like as soon as like you hit record.
Yeah.
Also because I can listen back to it and just go, that is just terrible. Even if it's like literally fine,
Yeah.
I'll just be like, that cymbal
The
is
kind of-
like that much quieter than the other one. It sucks. I hate it.
there's kind of pedantry to recording, which is kind of it can be really tedious. But like performance, when you get the feedback from the crowd, especially, like that's why I've not really been too fussed about doing kind of like live stream like camera shows and things like that, because performing to a camera or something like that, or you
It's
know,
not the same. It's
I mean, no, I total respect to bands who are doing it, like, and they're going to be starting at the Griffin next Thursday as well, which is definitely going to be a start of things getting back to normal within the circumstances that they allow. But
I don't know, it's not
personally, yeah,
that's not what playing a gig's about, really.
No.
Of course.
It's an intimate.
I
kind
love
of thing.
winding up the crowd as well. I love kind of just getting people going mental. It's like it's my my favourite thing.
If you see people going mad as well, it just gives you like, especially in my case, because like quite a lot of the time, like my hands are just fucked after a show. Like, my posture is like really bad or something, and then I just see these people pitting, and I'm just like, oh fuck yeah.
Yeah, go for it.
And yeah, I'm just like, oh wait, my hands just like magically stopped hurting, and I can play again.
Yeah.
Yay.
Because you got hype.
And then afterwards, my hand is like, but like at the time, it just gives me that bit of energy to push through it.
Awesome stuff. Okay, and final question. Favorite Dies Holocaustum song?
Which is a new one?
If you want, yeah.
go for it.
Oh god.
Massacre, Carrion Frenzy, a new one. When you hear it, you'll see why it's
Yeah.
This is really difficult. It's probably my least favourite one to play for various reasons, but in terms of the cover, I think it's a great song.
I'd have to
It's
agree
a
with
really
Trent
good
for the Coven, to be
Yeah,
honest.
it's a
Although-
bugger to play.
Although
For
on
me,
the one
you know.
side of the pestilence is
Yeah, it
a good
does.
one.
Yeah.
I'll choose on from the first album. I'd probably say
Let Them Hang and Rot is great as well.
Let Them Hang and Rot is killer. I really...
Leatherface is like we always love to end on that one because it's just like I love doing this like kind of massive scream that's not even on the.
I think They
it's
Never
on the
Left Us
record.
Boundaries is one of the best ones, and it's interesting because when we recorded it, I had no idea what to play. So
It was a bit of an afterthought.
We-
that,
we-
wasn't
we
it? There were
kind
definitely
of-
ones that we focused on more.
we kind of, I remember listening to it in the control room. Just like, well, I'll do that, and then we just recorded it, like,
Yeah.
kind of chunk by chunk, and
Kind of 2/3 of it we had really well planned out. There was about a third that we were like, okay, we haven't really focused on as much.
I
as we could,
had
yeah.
literally none of it. Man.
I was going through the
came
lyrics
out
like on
really
the sheet,
cool,
yeah.
actually, in the end, so.
I'd say from the Scourge from Islam, I'm personally quite fond of Death Right Shrouded because it
Yeah.
took quite some time to get it right. Because this song, I used to have another band, so a certain proportion of material is recycled from previous bands. So I could never get this song right with previous musicians. So this is the first time that it sounds just how it's
The way
meant to
it
be.
was
So
meant to be, yeah.
it sounds really good. And from the next material, possibly Carnage.
Carnage or Massacre.
Carnage,
yeah,
Strong
yeah.
Calibers, that's a really killer song, and hopefully people will enjoy it as much as I do.
I think they will. It's pretty heavy, pretty fast.
If they like what we've done so far, then you're going to be
It's like that, but just better.
Yeah, awesome. Awesome, can't wait to hear it. So, thanks again, guys, so much for meeting with me and inviting me down to your closed door show at Black City Records. I'll leave links to all your stuff in the description below the video so people can go support you guys. Thanks again. This has been amazing.
Thank you very much.
Cheers, guys.